Today, we dive into the story of Tanzania, a nation perched on the eastern edge of Africa, hugging the shores of the Indian Ocean. To the north, it shares borders with Kenya and Uganda. To the west, it meets Rwanda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. To the south lies Zambia, Malawi, and Mozambique. Tanzania is not only the gateway to Africa's highest peak, Mount Kilimanjaro, but also home to the Serengeti Plains, the spice-rich island of Zanzibar. Yet beyond its natural beauty lies a powerful history. Our story begins in the mid-19th century, when the Sultanate of Zanzibar had already made major trade incursions into the East African interior. German and British interests followed, initially under the guise of campaigning against the slave trade that was still practiced by the Sultanate. Germany laid claims to the hinterland, which they named German East Africa, later known as Tanganyika. Meanwhile, Zanzibar Island became a British protectorate. Under German rule, sisal cultivation was introduced. The Germans ruled through Arab and Swahili intermediaries, who often imposed harsh conditions on the local population. This culminated in the Maji-Maji Rebellion of 1905 to 1907, a widespread uprising that not only resulted in brutal crackdowns, but also prompted changes in the colonial administration. During World War I, British, Belgian, and South African troops invaded and occupied German East Africa. Thereafter, the League of Nations officially awarded Britain the mandate to administer Tanganyika in 1919. While administrative, educational, and medical systems evolved gradually, infrastructure development remained minimal. In 1929, the Tanganyika African Association, TAA, was founded to promote African interests. In the post-war period, 1946, the United Nations converted the British mandate into a trusteeship. The TAA soon gained momentum, and in 1954, Julius Nyerere, together with Oscar Kambona, transformed it into the Tanganyika African National Union, TANU. This mass-based political movement became the main engine for independence. Nyerere, a British-educated school teacher known as Mwalimu, the teacher, earned national respect for his intellect, humility, and moral clarity. On December 9, 1961, Tanganyika achieved a peaceful transition to independence, with Nyerere as Prime Minister. A year later, the country became a republic, with Nyerere as its first president. Committed to national unity in a country of over 120 ethnic groups, Nyerere pursued a one-party system under TANU. Meanwhile, on December 9, 1963, Zanzibar gained independence as a sultanate under Sultan Jamshid bin Abdullah, an Arab. Just a month later, in January 1964, a violent revolution erupted in Zanzibar. The Afro-Shirazi Party, led by Abeid Amani Karume and supported by John Okello's militant forces, overthrew the Sultan. Thousands of Arabs and Indians were killed or fled, and Zanzibar was declared a socialist, one-party state. Recognizing shared ideological goals and fearing Cold War manipulation, Nyerere acted quickly. In April 1964, Tanganyika and Zanzibar merged to form the United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar, later renamed Tanzania. Although unified politically, Zanzibar retained a significant level of autonomy. Nyerere emerged as a Pan-Africanist visionary, denouncing minority rule in Southern Africa. He played a pivotal role in supporting liberation movements, fighting against minority rule in the region. Dar es Salaam became a hub for revolutionaries, providing sanctuary and platforms for political education and military logistics. One of Nyerere's most enduring legacies was the Arusha Declaration of 1967, which introduced Ujamaa, a version of African socialism aimed at self-reliance under ethical leadership, the government nationalized economic enterprises and barred officials from owning multiple incomes. Yet productivity, including the sisal industry, dropped significantly. Still, Nyerere's regional influence remained strong. With Chinese support, the Tazara Railway, linking Zambia to the port of Dar es Salaam, was completed in 1975. This strategic move improved Zambia's economic independence, a landlocked country that was heavily dependent on South African ports. This further accelerated the effect of economic sanctions against minority-ruled South Africa and Rhodesia. In 1977, TANU and the Afro-Shirazi Party merged into Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM, which remains Tanzania's ruling party to date. A new constitution confirmed the one-party state. That same year, the East African Community, which had been in existence since 1967, collapsed due to ideological tensions amongst member states. The year 1978 saw Ugandan dictator Idi Amin invade Tanzania's Kagera region. Nyerere ordered a counter-invasion that toppled Amin in 1979. The war cost Tanzania over £250 million and exacerbated its economic crisis. By the early 1980s, inflation soared, basic goods were rationed, and corruption was rampant. Nyerere soon accepted his mistakes and began limited reforms, including the denationalization of sisal estates. In 1985, he voluntarily stepped down, marking a rare feat in African politics. His successor, Ali Hassan Mwinyi, embraced economic liberalization and implemented structural adjustments backed by the International Monetary Fund. Private enterprise grew, but so did inequality and foreign dependency. In 1992, Tanzania amended its constitution to permit multi-party democracy. Benjamin Mkapa won the 1995 elections, the first competitive polls. His administration focused on governance reforms and regional cooperation through the re-established East African Community. In 1998, Al-Qaeda bombed the US Embassy in Dar es Salaam, killing 11 people. But that did not stop Mkapa from winning a second term in 2000. Following an election marred by violence in Zanzibar, the Civic United Front boycotted Zanzibar's parliament, claiming fraud. Reconciliation efforts created a joint committee to restore peace. In 2005, Jakaya Kikwete assumed the presidency. Charismatic and popular, he expanded education and health access while promoting regional diplomacy. The African Development Bank cancelled over $640 million in debt due to improved governance. But in 2008, a corruption scandal involving $120 million in improper payments led to the resignation of the Prime Minister and 2 ministers. In 2012, 6 more ministers were sacked for misuse of funds. Offshore gas discoveries in the 2010s raised economic hopes, but also governance concerns. Tanzania faced global scrutiny in 2012 when Iranian tankers used Tanzanian flags to dodge sanctions. Allegations of human rights abuses during anti-poaching operations also surfaced. Kikwete's proposed constitutional reforms stalled amid opposition boycotts. In 2015, John Magufuli was elected on an anti-corruption platform. Nicknamed the Bulldozer, he initially won praise for cutting government waste and fast-tracking public projects. However, his administration grew increasingly authoritarian. Magufuli downplayed COVID-19, rejected vaccines, and declared Tanzania virus-free without evidence. Re-elected in 2020 under controversial circumstances, Magufuli died in March 2021. Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan became Tanzania's first female president. She restored media freedoms, acknowledged the pandemic, and rebuilt diplomatic ties. Despite progress, Tanzania faces enduring challenges: youth unemployment, income inequality, union tensions, and reform of the entrenched CCM party. Yet, from revolution to reform, Tanzania stands as a symbol of Africa's quest for dignity, unity, and self-determination. Its post-independence journey, though marked by ideological experiments and economic setbacks, also showcases resilience and adaptation. From the heights of African socialism to the complexities of modern governance, Tanzania's story is both cautionary and inspiring, a mirror of the broader African experience.